welcome here to Sjøholmen outside Oslo for our workshop here, live workshop, Affirmative Art. We're gonna look at our future through the process of Affirmative Art, and I got two great participants here joining me, and let them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Josh, and it's an honor to be here. Very excited about this, and I have been a part of Affirmative Art before, and it's great to put this into practice again. So I will be expressing some pretty big goals that I have for the very near future using Affirmative Art.
My name is Mo, and I'm an artist in the house, and also a scientist, and I will also try to express myself through Affirmative Art via Eirik. Thank you.
Why didn't you tell me you're going to sit me next to an artist and a scientist? I feel completely underprepared at this point.
So anyhow, we're gonna just kick off. Affirmative art is a method that has been practiced all over the world actually to visualize what we want. If we know what we want and have an image of it, and we create that image ourselves, it's putting us right in the path of achieving it. Because seeing is believing, and it gives us comfort, but also encouragement and direction. So today we're going to start, as always, with the current triangle. We have to start with today's triangle, because it's like a map. If you don't know where you're starting, you don't know where you're heading. So we're starting with the today's triangle. So I'm going to ask the participants to make, all of you actually, to make a triangle. If you make the triangle, the big triangle, and in the top of the triangle, the question is, when are you in flow? Flow meaning, when are you so enjoying an activity so much that you don't think about time or place or anything. You just love what you're doing. That's the top one. You write or draw up 3 things that makes you be in flow. Down in the bottom here is personal strength. What are you good at? What do you feel is your strength? That's the bottom left triangle. What's your personal strength? 3 things that you consider your personal strength. The other lower corner, gratitude. What do you appreciate? What in life do you appreciate? It's good to reflect what we already have to know where we're going. So what are we appreciating in our lives? What's good? And in the middle, a self-portrait. Of course, this workshop is not for artists, it's really for everybody. So I'm not asking you to create a portrait looking like yourself. But it's something symbolizing you, something about how do you see yourself. If you're a reader, maybe it's a book. If you love the forest, maybe you draw a tree. If you're a scientist, I don't know, maybe you do some formulas. I mean, it's really up to you, something defining yourself. So we're going to start this exercise now, and we don't have a lot of time, so we're just gonna start 3 things when are you in flow, 3 things personal strength, 3 things gratitude, and the self-portrait, and then we're going to present it. So please go ahead, and I will also do the exercise myself. So please, when you're doing this at home, don't make it difficult, just go with the flow. What type of activities? For me, when I do art, I just love it. I feel so much joy and satisfaction when I do art. Other things in nature, when I'm in nature, just being in nature, that gives me the feeling of flow. When I'm in nature, I feel great. I'm at peace, and I lose the concept of time, and I feel connected to the larger universe. Personal strength, I think I'm an open guy. Pretty open-minded. Energetic. And free-spirited. Actually, I'll add here I'm a family man because I'm now sort of a family man as well. So I think I'm okay at that. Gratitude. For me, it's life itself. Just to remind you, these are just some examples I'm sharing with you now. You do this at home and you have your own, of course, completely different personal strength, things you feel gratitude for, and we're in flow. So, for me, the gratitude, I think, for life itself, just a miracle of being born. I've seen the world, I traveled, I lived 15 years in Africa and other parts of the world, so I think the travel experience is a big thing to feel gratitude for. And my family, my expanding family. It's based in different parts of the world, but it's still my family, and yeah, it's a wonderful thing. So affirmative art was actually developed in East Africa 10 years ago. I had a personal challenge of losing custody of my daughter, and in desperation I wrote and painted the idea of having her in my life. And it gave me encouragement to get custody of my daughter, and eventually I got it, and now she's living with me here in Norway. Her name is Imani, which means faith. Which is an interesting name, considering she gave me that faith. And I used it for other times in my life to achieve things. Maybe I'll go through some of these things while you at home work on your triangles, because this is a collection of visitors who have shown their dreams. My buddy Lars, he's struggling between the corporate world and his love and relationship. This was a couple. They wanted a baby and a dog and travel and see the world and some money. Put all together in a spacecraft. This was a Russian lady who was so keen on hopefully seeing another world after this corona pandemic. Today we actually have the lockdown in Norway, so this exercise is a perfect way, even though it's a bit dark, to look positive and look at what's ahead and start thinking beyond the corona and all those limitations it has brought. We had some students from a neighboring primary school, and I have a dream of running a farm, but with the electric tractor and an electric car, so more of a renewable. This was the manager of the center here, the Sjøholmen Art Center. She had a beautiful dream of an open house with people doing different activities, loving all these type of joyful things, and the colors and the shapes show positive, energetic spirits. And here was a lady called Andrea. She said in English, it's, I don't know the exact word, but it's the wrinkles you get when you smile a lot. So when she would be old, she wanted to have those wrinkles from having smiled throughout her life. This was a cafe manager who had this vision of sort of plants in the world and us protecting the world. And it's also some symbolic of the time. So she had some mace here symbolizing like a watch sort of, but it's also the world, it's also a plant. So there was somebody here, Marta, she wants to go to like a house in Kenya on the beach called Kaimani. That was her dream. And yeah, we got Jørn, a man in his 50s, a pilot, but currently not really flying because of the corona. his dream was the coffee cup, but with love, health, and money. My own daughter did it. She has a dream of becoming a film star, so she did this image, and her friend Daria, and the daughter of Mo, did the MIT logo. Her dream was to study at MIT at some stage in her life. And here was an owl made by an elderly Russian lady. Her concern was the future, and owl is representing wisdom, so she wants us all to reflect over the future, protect this beautiful earth of ours. So it's this was Dahl. His name was Mr. Dahl. He wants us to look after the ocean. There are many ways to save the ocean. And Elisabeth Thalén, another friend here, again looking at nature and protecting the nature. I think it's a theme for her. And here again, the balance between masculinity and femininity. While a young guy in his 15 did his dream boat, a Targa, and Björg just sharing love. I think that's the symbol of that. Björg is an artist here in Norway who is encouraging and supporting a lot of people and sharing her love, and she wants to continue doing that. So these are just some examples, but I don't want to distract you from your. If you can continue on today's triangle, and in a couple of minutes we will start presenting, and then we will present what we have. We may not have all of it, but we'll present what we have. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So this is today's triangle. We're gonna hang it up for you, and we start with today before we go into the future. So I think, Josh.
Yep.
I'm sorry to rush you here, but are you able to start presenting, please?
Very happy to.
Thank you. So if you can get close to Josh and just see his image.
Come and see my art.
The way you present normally is you hold it and you explain it.
So, with myself, you can see at an instant glance that I'm not an artist necessarily. However, I don't let that get in the way for me connecting. So, for me, when am I in flow? A big thing for me is connecting with other people. So I have a number of people shown here, and just kind of the green kind of whirlwind of magic that happens around people connecting and creating things. For me, writing as well, I've also found that very important in my world. So what I do is I'm an adventurer, and I take on really big challenges to support children's charities. And there's a lot of things that happen in my world, so I need to write. And when I write, I'm in a really, really good flow around that. And then for me, I think playing is actually one of the most essential things in my life. So playing and always remembering to be playful as I take on all the different kind of projects that I do. Moving around, so my personal strength, I think for me it's actually sharing vision. I come up with a lot of, as Ida could probably attest to, a lot of crazy visions around different things. And I've been up to my adventures for about 6 years now, and I've learned that one of the most important things that I can do as a person is be really clear in my vision around what it is that I would like to produce to be able to help other people. And I think so sharing my vision is one of my biggest assets, I would say. And what am I grateful for? So gratitude, 2 things really came out, and that is you can see here, you might think at first glance that's a bunch of lollipops, but you'd be wrong. Those are people. So I have a bunch of people here, and it's about connecting. So it's really exciting for me to know that the more people that I get to meet, that the more people that they introduce me to, and the more people I can introduce other people, it creates a lot of capacity and opportunity for other people to bring big ideas to life, which I'm very passionate about. So connection is very important. And then the other that I wrote is, it's actually, or that I drew, is an open door. And so that represents all the open doors that my beautiful friends around me have allowed me to have and to do. because there's so many big worlds behind every door that gets opened by new connections. And then my self-portrait. I've got a hand here throwing a heart. And that's kind of representative of how I live my life. I kind of throw my heart out as far as I can, and I just continue to run like crazy to catch up with it. So,
Thanks.
that's me. Yeah, pleasure.
Oh, thanks, sir.
Yes.
Mo,
And
please.
my triangle is not as colorful as Joshua's.
We don't compare. We don't compare triangles.
But I'm in flow when I do a task that is not
You can hold it.
yes, that is not too difficult, that it gets too frustrating, and it's not too easy that it gets too boring. While listening to music, my strengths are maybe creativity and compassionate, I think. And what my gratitude for is the staff at Sjøholmen and my family and friends. This self-portrait may look a bit sketchy, but yes, that's what I had so far.
Awesome, man.
Thank you so much. So now, this was sort of the preparation where we are starting from, and we are now going into the future. So I'll ask you to take a new piece of paper, and here we are looking at personal dream. So it's basically your personal dream is, let's say, a personal dream could be a family or something like in the local community, more personal. And on the other corner we have world impact. So world impact, like for somebody like myself, it is sharing visions, having people live their vision, having people go for their desires, what they really want, not listen to all the expectations, but actually find what speaks to them and do that. So that's a world example of a world impact. You save the environment, or it can be, it doesn't really matter, but it's the more of the global, what you want to leave behind when you go to the other side. Supporters, we are not going to be able to succeed in our future unless we have supporters, and we're all part of networks and we have people around us. So supporters is a key element. So who are your supporters? It doesn't need to be only people. It could be, some people get a lot of support from nature, religion. Some people also get it from music or art. It doesn't really matter, but what's your supporter? Some people, be specific, or some other aspects that you feel support you. Now, future self-portrait is, as you see yourself in the future, what would you want to look like? And when I say future, it can be in a week, it can be in a month, it can be in a year, 10 years, it doesn't really matter. Future is what you define it as, but this is the future triangle, and it's somewhere in the future, somewhere you would like to go. Something you would like to achieve or do or experience in the future. So that's the future triangle. So we're going to spend a little time on that. I'm happy Josh and Mo are moving forward. They will present their future. And I will also work on mine. Let's see, I think it's important to use books, and I do these workshops all the time, so as you can see, they keep on changing, which is interesting. So, just wanted to share some of these triangles, just to show some of ideas of what they can look like. They keep on changing, but that's because I do them all the time. But I think it's important I also do them as we move forward. Just sharing a bit, but let me find a page for doing. There is. Here we go. Future triangle. Thank you. Personal dream. For me, it's a family. but it's, yeah, family with a big F. My own family, you know. It's a dream. A real family and real love and connection. Impact, I think for me, it's the art and the affirmative art. Doing something that touches people through art, and also giving people a tool to explore their own future through affirmative art. Supporters, there are so many, but participants like Josh and Mo here today, it's a big part. And you at home as well. Just you doing this gives me a lot of encouragement. So participants is a big thing for me. Of course, my daughter and my girlfriend, Lindsay, and Imani, my daughter, and Amani, my other daughter. And I would add here Tumaini. In the future, supporters. For me, God is important, so I always add God here. I don't know in what form, but it's some energy that rewards good behavior and tries to teach us when we go in the wrong direction. It's a very simple definition for me of God. Yeah. So the key thing for you is now yourself to look at your personal dream future. What is it you want? What do you want to leave behind in the world? The impact you want to have? Who are your supporters? And the future self-portrait. Supporters, try as many as possible and be specific. Family is general. If you can mention family members or individuals that really encourages you, that's great. Yeah. Basically, affirmative art has been practiced all over the world, but the headquarters really in East Africa, Uganda, at the Art Academy, where we are using it in the school system to encourage students to get motivated and keen on what they want with their education and why they study. So we have presentations from many countries. We've been doing this all over the world. We've been also touring. Affirmative art has been across America twice and across Africa twice. So we normally paint the vehicles and then we do workshops as we move, just to give you some ideas. The different settings, the different environments, the different people. So many people have achieved their dreams. I mean, one of the biggest stories is possibly in Uganda, where there was a participant called Spice Diane. She drew herself on the stage singing while she was at the Art Academy in Makerere. And we discussed with her, why did she draw herself singing if she was at the Art Academy? And actually she's now a musician full-time and very popular in Uganda and East Africa and all over the world. But this is just one of many examples of people who have made changes or sort of gotten new insights about their life and where they want to go and why they want to go there. And this COVID is an opportunity because everything slows down. So it's a good time to reflect on what we are doing, why we are doing it, and maybe make some changes. And affirmative art is a tool, fun and colorful tool to look at those changes. I don't know how you guys doing. Should we look at the presentations, or I can actually start with
Almost there.
almost there. So let me start with my future triangle. I'm not. I did a very quick one. For personal dream, it's a family with a big F. I have a family, but I want to make it even more solid. And Tumaini, which means hope. It's something I want more of. I want to welcome. Art and affirmative art is a big part. That's my impact. Through my art, encouraging people, and also affirmative art as a tool that I can share with people all over the world. As a matter of fact, it's going to be introduced in the school system in Romania this year as a way of encouraging students to stay in school by being more passionate about their opportunities and what they have and also what they can achieve. Supporters, I put Lindsay, my girlfriend, Imani, Amani, my daughters, I put God itself, and I put friends, and also Tumaini again, hope. Self-portrait. I made a sort of a rocket or a spacecraft, and the T is on the top here, Tumaini, the hope guiding us. The family is in there, the art is in there, and the engine is the affirmative. So the A-man, which is a symbol of affirmative art. So I think we're gonna shift over to the other participants.
I can play.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure. So for me, I've got my personal dream of the future. So I've been living in Norway for 4 years now, and for me Norway is home for good. And my personal dream of the future is my tiny little cabin with my little Norwegian flag. But the reason that I'm up at a hill is there's a river coming down from it, and that's symbolizing a lot of the work and the energy that I've been able to create in my time here in my life in Norway to continue on to move out to other communities and move to other people. So there's a bit of a flow there from the work gone in. I'll just go around. So for supporters, so many, but I even put organizations. So to bring my adventures to life, there are many, many different organizations involved, from universities and charities and large organizations like NASA and all sorts. And if it wasn't for their help and guidance, I really wouldn't be able to get these adventures of mine off the ground. And I've got media and audiences, so an outlet for me to share the story and share the work that the charities are doing to help kids and share the work gone in to bring the adventures, the big challenges to life. And also right down here and I have it at the bottom on purpose as a bit of a cornerstone, like a bedrock, which is my friends and family, because without them and their care and support my entire life, really none of anything that I've done would be possible. And world impact, I've got just a little boy and a little girl there holding hands. I've just got opportunity. I love the idea of creating programs and work that creates opportunity for young people for the rest of time. As for me, it's young people are the future, and I'm really driven by world impact, creating opportunities for younger people, ongoing generation to generation. And I have a future self-portrait. I was very ambitious, and I gave myself brown hair. There wasn't a gray pencil, so we'll just see what happens. And I've got myself here. I'm smiling, but I'm quite calm because I feel like I'm looking off in the distance, and I feel quite relaxed about a lot of the things that I've been able to achieve because of all the help I've had around me. And I've got a tiny little cup of tea there because I'm relaxing, aren't I?
Can I ask you a question, Josh?
Yeah.
I know you have a huge dream in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised it's not there in the way, but I know it's on your mind, and it's very much going to be part of the walls here eventually, when we're going to paint our dreams on the walls. Could you just share quickly what your immediate next adventure and dream is?
So the immediate next adventure, to which all of this is basically a project for, is, as I said, I take on a lot of different challenges to raise awareness for children's causes around the world. And so far I've done 5, but my next one is I'm going to be the first person in the world to run through the sky. I'll say that again. I'm going to be the first person in the world to run through the sky. And I'm working with like NTNU and NASA and a number of other different organizations to help me do something crazy, like run through the sky using an airship, like a helium-filled blimp, of which I'm going to run on a massive human hamster wheel underneath it that's going to power propellers for the forward trajectory. And I'm going to run the world's first marathon through the air in Lysefjord in September of this year. And the reason I'm doing something so crazy is to raise a lot of media attention that will help me help Right to Play, help 10,000 kids get to school around the world, primarily young girls, because if they don't have access to education, usually they're ushered into life circumstances that they'd prefer not to be in. So we're going to help save them from that. So that is what's coming at me thick and fast over the next number of months. But really, I'm so much into the work on a daily basis of bringing that to life, remembering the fundamentals of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and zooming out a little bit is what's landed on here.
Great.
First and foremost, it's to create a blimp to run through the sky.
Mo.
Yes, my personal dream for the future is to create the world's first topological quantum computer.
One more time?
Oh.
Wow. What?
A quantum computer, a topological one, which will move us to the next triangle, which was world impact, and this will, in combination with artificial intelligence, contribute to extend human life dramatically and ultimately give us eternal life in this next decade or decades that comes. So that's my my future, my world impact.
What about the supporters?
Yeah, supporters, my daughter, family, friends, and everyone who in the world, actually. There are many supporters. I find in from professors to people I don't know. So I find support in animals to plants to everything. Yeah.
Great.
Yes. So.
And a self-portrait?
Self-portrait, yes. I've got a bit more a beard and a bit more hair than
the last one, and the current one.
It shows a time lapse.
Some hair transplantation and.
Great. So I want to thank Josh and Mo for participating and being open, and this is all about openness and sharing and being true to yourself and your future and having faith, but also encouraging yourself and others, because I've seen so many times that it works. It helps to have an image. You have to do things in line with your image. I mean, that's the last thing I want to say, but of course an image is not everything. You have to do action steps. I'm not going to go into that now, but you have to follow a certain path in terms of things you should do to achieve your goal. But a starting point is to have a clarity on what you want. If you have that, the steps and the people who will help you achieve it will come along. So thank you so much for participating. You guys here, Lil for filming, Christine for organizing, and Sjøholmen for hosting us. And as I said, there's more information on Affirmative Art on YouTube and we would invite you to come with your dreams, to share them on the walls here or in paper, and we put them on. You paint directly or we put them on, but we want to have as many dreams as possible in this room of the future, the future dream room. So please consider that and get in touch with us if you have questions or if you like advice or connect with other people. But,